Hello, I'm Marion Ginopolis, Superintendent of Lake Orion Community Schools, and I'm really pleased to be able to bring to you Inside the Dragons, and this is the November edition. In this edition, we actually have 5 great segments that I know you will truly enjoy. First of all, with Monday, November the 11th being Veterans Day, we had a number of wonderful celebrations where our students respectfully honored veterans in their community by bringing them into their schools. So you have the opportunity to see some of those that occurred primarily at Orion Oaks Elementary and at Carpenter Elementary. Secondly, one of our elementary principals, Mr. Ken Nuss at Blanche Sims Elementary, did something somewhat unique, and that is that he decided to accept a challenge from students where he actually slept overnight on the roof of his school. I'm not going to give away why he did that. I will let you see that in that particular segment. And the next segment will be about our Lake Orion High School marching band that participated in the Michigan State Band Association finals at Ford Field downtown, and they came in second. They were absolutely marvelous, and you can be the judge of that when you watch that in that particular segment. And then our Thespian group at the high school is putting on the play The Brighton Beach Memoirs that I know that you will enjoy. We hope that you'll be able to come out and see that as well. In the last segment, our students had the opportunity to do some artwork on the Oakland County Road Commission snow plows, so you'll have the opportunity to see that as well. So we thank you very much for tuning in to Inside the Dragons November edition.
Celebrating Veterans Day in the Lake Orion Community Schools is one of those special moments of the year, thanking those who gave so much for our country's freedom. At Carpenter Elementary and Orion Oaks Elementary, ceremonies are held to include the veterans who have a connection to a student in the school. At Oaks, each veteran was met at the front door by a student and escorted to the gym, where they sat on stage. As the rest of the Oaks students entered the gym, they formed a circle in the middle, all facing the center. At that point, a few Oaks students led the room in a special Pledge of Allegiance.
Of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
This morning, kids, today is an extremely important day and a very special day for us. And one of the things that I like to share with you every year that we are fortunate to welcome our veterans here is that we get to come to Orion Oaks and live the life that we do and do the things that we do because of people like this who have sacrificed for our country, made sacrifices so that we can have the freedom and the choices to live our life the way that we do. And so before we go any further in our assembly, I'd like all of us here to give a huge round of applause to our veterans.
Each of the 5 branches of the military was represented, as the veterans from that branch were asked to stand. The ceremony concluded, and the veterans and their student shared some time in the cafeteria. At Carpenter, the ceremony introduced members of each branch of the service. The student-led program shared the importance of the holiday.
Yes, I'm talking about men and women who are currently or in the past who are soldier or sailor. This group of people is called veterans.
Oh, you're talking about Veterans Day. My grandpa fought in war. He was a veteran.
Yes, anyone that has served in the armed forces is a veteran. Do you know how many branches are in the U.S. military? I think there are 4 branches. There is the Army, Navy, Air Force, and the Marines.
Following the ceremony, Carpenter continued its tradition of honoring the veterans individually. As the visiting veterans lined the hallway with their families, students and staff passed through, shaking hands and giving individual thanks for their service. At Stadium Drive, Ms. Cardinal's first grade class sang a song to honor Veterans Day and shared it with their classmates on the morning video announcements. LOCS students and staff have great respect for the nation's military and those who have served our nation. Lake Orion Community Schools principals agree to all kinds of challenges to help motivate students to raise money at their fall fundraisers. Blanche Sims Elementary principal Ken Nuss took it an extra step this fall and offered to sleep on the roof for a night if the students met the goal. Well, they sailed past it. He was on the hook, actually on the roof.
As an incentive for our fun run, I told the students that I would sleep on the roof if we met our goal of $15,000. And believe it or not, they actually raised $19,000, which I believe is a school record. I can't go back too far, but I believe it's a school record. So they earned it, and so we're having a fun night. I'm going to sleep on the roof in a tent here, and then we're going to have a few fun activities for the kids before they go to bedtime. We'll throw some marshmallows down, and I'm going to read them a storybook for bedtime. Before we send everybody off into their homes. And I'll hunker down for a rather chilly night, but it would be well worth it.
The media thought it was so interesting, they wanted to visit and see it in action. Nuss followed through with his promises as students enjoyed the marshmallow drops. The students began to trickle in, but by the time it was dark, they were in full effect, staying warm as they sat for the story.
We decided to do a night on the roof and then, to make some extra fun festivities to keep the night moving. So he did the marshmallow toss off the roof, and then he's going to read bedtime stories shortly.
And then now that you're here and going through it, what's your favorite part of this so far?
Probably getting to eat 2 marshmallows.
Yeah. Are you surprised there's so many people that turned out for this?
No, not at all.
Why are you not surprised?
Because there are so many people in our school, and it was like he announced it every day this week.
What do you think he's doing up there? Do you see that how he's going to sleep there and everything?
Yeah, probably. I think he has a tent. He's going to sleep with his dog and everything.
We're happy to report Mr. Nuss enjoyed the night, and the Sims students will benefit from the fundraising all year long. When the Lake Orion High School marching band begins practicing in late June, all sounds point to November. The Michigan Competing Bands Association state finals are held at Ford Field, and the Dragons regularly place near the top of the most competitive flight. With a strong competition season already recorded, they came to Detroit on November 2nd, looking to cap the season. Drawing one of the final performance slots around 7 p.m., the Dragons arrived just after 4 p.m. to begin the warm-up in a parking lot across from Ford Field. The unseen preparation for competition reminded us how much prep work goes into the event. The competitors stretch their legs, arms, and their breath as they prepare with their bodies and their instruments. They practice the movement specific to this year's show, Serpentine, which involved a massive mechanical snake. They got their pep talks, psyching each other up. The unsung heroes were the volunteer parents when it came time to shift the whole operation inside the stadium. Crossing the street with all the people, instruments, and sets was a major chore, but appeared seamless, even as the set had to pause for traffic lights. That placed the Dragons in line behind Flight 1 schools in front of them as they patiently moved down the ramp. They ended up taking the field just after 7 p.m., right after a brief break. They put on one of the greatest performances of their season, drawing a huge roar from the crowd, which included a large LOHS fan contingent. As they anxiously awaited the results, 3 LOHS drum majors stood with other Flight 1 drum majors along the field's sideline. During the countdown, the Dragons watched before they were awarded the runner-up finish. With one of their best scores of the season, the LOHS marching band, directed by Michael Steele, made all of Lake Orion proud on the biggest stage. Each fall, when the Lake Orion High School Thespian group prepares for its production, there's a bit of an unknown. Theater director Jonathan Kine makes the show selection, and the students begin to embrace it after that point when they receive their scripts. But Mr. Kine wants the production to be their own.
I barely knew anything about the show. We were told not to watch or look up anything, and so I didn't really. I really just took the lines, and I thought, hey, this will be fun, so I just had fun with it and tried to do my best. This one, to me, a lot of it, it's a very serious show, but my character especially plays a lot of the more comic relief character aspects, and honestly, that's my favorite part of the show as well, is just the comedy in general. It's very much so focusing on the comedy of a coming-of-age film, of coming-of-age story, and it focuses on the awkwardness and the insecurities of puberty and all this sort of stuff, and I'm honestly pretty excited to do it.
The challenge of putting together the show and building the set at the same time leads to some interesting rehearsals, as when Mr. Kine tells them where the set piece will be when it's built. But with the students involved in every aspect of the show, it's a truly impressive production.
I thought it'd be a really good opportunity to try to develop my leadership skills and just in general work with the actors. I think we have a lot of talent here, and I thought I'd be someone good to get that out. I thought the show of Brighton Beach was pretty interesting because it's much more focused on individual characters, so you really get to work with people specifically and learn what makes them work as an actor.
The show runs November 21st through the 23rd with 7 p.m. performances, and November 24th with a 2 p.m. matinee. Tickets are available at the link on the Lake Orion High School website or at the gate. Though winter came early this fall with a mid-November snowstorm, Lake Orion Community Schools students did everything they could to offer an assist. The Road Commission of Oakland County offered to place 4 plows in the district, 2 at Orion Oaks Elementary and 2 at Weber Elementary for students to decorate. The opportunity excited the kids at each school, along with Paint Creek and Carpenter students who came to help, as their artwork will be seen around the county.
When I first heard about it, we went online, some of the students and I, and looked at the painted plow and decided it was something we really wanted to do. We drew up ideas together. We looked at themes together. We looked at what other people had done with dragons, actually, and we really loved it. So we got a group of kids from Latchkey, and we start today.
You had a number of them who seem enthusiastic to do it.
Absolutely. They came up with their own sketches. They came up with the colors they wanted. It was just something that, you know, they knew they really wanted to do.
The Orion Oaks plow was a design using the district's LO as a centerpiece, with other items around it. The other, on the Orion Oaks site, featured a version of the Van Gogh Starry, Starry Night painting. A key component was the students' willingness to participate in the project after school, as a part of Latchkey at Orion Oaks, and on a volunteer basis at Weber, where dozens of students stayed after school one day to participate.
I like being involved in this because I like helping other people and I like knowing that I'm helping other people.
When you heard about this idea, this is not something that happens in every school, does it?
No, not at all. No.
So when you heard about it, was that something that you were like, sign me up? Or?
Oh yeah, it seems really cool to me.
And then once you got in there, what was kind of the coolest part of doing it?
I think the coolest idea was that we were doing like an actual painting and trying to do that ourselves with spray paint. Yeah.
At Weber, instead of paintbrushes for the 2 plows, art teacher Amanda Miller and the students used spray paint. With a procession of students each getting a turn, the plows were painted quickly, with one in the Starry Night theme and the other seizing on the winter theme with snowflakes.
Our first one we're going to do Starry, Starry Night by Vincent van Gogh. And then our second snowplow is just going to be a whole bunch of snowflakes.
And the kids, do they have some direction, or is it kind of we touch it up after as we go here?
It's going to be a little bit of both. They're both pretty flexible, so we can kind of make changes as we need to.
How did you settle on those designs?
With the idea that they could be pretty free, but still have a direction.
While many dread the snow, keep an eye out for those plows to see the LOCS students work, helping clear the roads.
Thank you for watching the November edition of Inside the Dragons. We'll see you in December. Thank you.
Inside the Dragons is produced by the Lake Orion Community Schools in partnership with Orion Neighborhood Television. For up-to-date news and information about the Lake Orion Schools, visit our website at lakeorionschools.org and watch us on Comcast Educational Access Channel 22 and AT&T Uverse Channel 99.